Hello dear students, today we will see the experimental evidences for de Broglie's hypothesis. You know that we have seen in the last lecture that the de Broglie, what he said, as light behaves as dual nature, right? It is a particle as well as a wave. Similarly, de Broglie stated that particle can also behave as a wave. As the wave, that means light radiation can behave as particle, that means photon, then particle can also behave as a wave. So we will see its experimental evidence. Now for that, first of all, let's see the one crystalline substance. We have one crystalline substance, crystalline substance. These are atoms in it. See, if we direct an X-ray, let's see, this is X-ray. We direct this X-ray to this crystalline substance, then we will find the radiation is get scattered. The beam of X-ray is going to scatter. So this scattering is of particular, it is characteristic. So we obtain the characteristic scattered lines, and that scattering is it is the characteristic of interatomic distance of that crystalline substance. So if the crystal changes, then we get a different kind of diffraction pattern. Now what kind of that diffraction pattern is? It is in the form of circular rings. It is like a rings, in the pattern of rings, and the distance between two rings is proportional to the interatomic distance. Okay, and why such a thing is occurring? Because here the wavelength of X-rays, why it is getting scattered in such a particular or characteristic form or characteristic diffraction pattern? Because the interatomic spacing is nearly equal to the interatomic spacing of the crystalline substance is nearly equal to the wavelength of X-ray. Wavelength of X-ray, and therefore we get such a diffraction pattern. And it is characteristic for particular crystal or particular crystalline substance. Now see, this is X-ray diffraction pattern for aluminium foil. If we take aluminium foil and direct X-rays over it, then we will get such a kind of diffraction pattern. Okay. Now similarly, we have electrons. We have beam of electrons, and we are going to direct it over that aluminium foil, the same aluminium foil as used here. Then what will happen? It will also give some particular diffraction pattern, and that diffraction pattern is shown in this figure. From that, what we can see, the figure A and figure B, both are similar. So with the help of X-rays, we get one diffraction pattern. With the help of electron beam, we will get another diffraction pattern, and the both diffraction patterns are quite similar. Okay, these diffraction patterns are similar. So we can say that the beam of electron behave as X-rays. Beam of electron behaves as X-ray, and X-ray is the wave. X-rays are in the form of wave. So electron, that means particle, subatomic particle. Electron is a subatomic particle. So the particle can also behave as wave. Like wave can behave as a particle in photoelectric effect, in the same way the subatomic particle can also behave as wave. And from this experiment, it is very clear that electron is behaving, beam of electron is behaving as the X-ray. This is the experimental evidence for de Broglie's hypothesis. In fact, this diffraction pattern is more clear than here. So, electron microscopy is used in different experimentations. In the electron microscopy, electron behave as a wave. Now let's move towards the fundamental postulate of quantum mechanics. Okay, what is that? It is Schrödinger equation. Schrödinger equation. It is a fundamental okay. This equation is given by Schrödinger. What he considered, see, like according to de Broglie, particle behaves as wave. Particle behaves as wave, right? So subatomic particles can also behave as a wave, and as wave has, the waves are defined with particular equations. That equations are called as wave equations, right? So as particle is also behaving like a wave, then particle will also follow some kind of wave equation. Okay, so that particle can also define by wave equations, like waves are defined. And to give that equation, Schrödinger was the scientist who given that kind of equation for particle. And that is fundamental postulate, that became the fundamental postulate of quantum mechanics. Okay, it cannot be actually derived. We are not able to derive it. It is not derived one, but we can just trace it out, trace back the thinking of Schrödinger. Okay, we can trace back the thinking of Schrödinger. Let's see how he had thinked. First, we will see the fundamental equation of wave, because particle is behaving as wave. So to define particle, we will see particle is as a wave, and it can be denoted by the wave equation dabba square u upon dabba x square is equals to 1 upon v square dabba square u upon dabba t square. This is the fundamental wave equation, basic equation of a simple wave. Now here u is the amplitude and is function of distance and time, and it can be denoted by, see, what is that? Yeah, psi of x into cos omega t. Psi of x into cos omega t. This can be denoted by this equation. Let's see, this is A. Let's number it as A, and this is as B. Now if we put the equation B in the A, what will we get? Dabba square psi of x into cos omega t upon dabba x square is equal to 1 upon v square dabba square psi of x into cos omega t upon dabba t square. So partial derivative, so we can take derivative. This is x square with respect to x, so omega t is constant, hence we can write it out of the bracket cos omega t dabba square psi upon dabba x square, and it is equal to 1 upon v square. Now Here with respect, derivative is with respect to t, so psi of x is constant here. We can write it out of the derivative. Psi of x, then dabba square by dabba t square cos omega t. Now we can solve it further. Cos omega t dabba square psi upon dabba x square is equals to 1 upon v square into psi of x into. Now first take derivative. D square by dt can be written as dabba by dabba t. Now let's take first derivative. What is derivative of cos omega t? First, derivative of omega t is omega with respect to time, so omega is constant. Omega t, derivative of omega t is omega, and derivative of cos theta is minus sin theta. So we can take minus sign here and sin theta. So dabba by dabba t of derivative of cos theta minus sin theta. What is theta here? Omega t into derivative of omega t. What is derivative of omega t? Is omega with respect to t. We have got this. We can write here cos omega t dabba square psi upon dabba x square is equal to minus sign outside, constant outside, minus omega upon v square psi of x. Now dabba by dabba t of sin omega t. Derivative of sin theta is cos theta, so cos omega t into derivative of omega t is again omega. Now it is equal to cos omega t dabba square psi upon dabba x square is equals to minus omega upon v square psi of x. See, this omega and omega, it will become omega square and cos omega t as it is. Now it could be cancelled, so dabba square psi upon dabba x square is equals to minus omega square by v square psi of x, and it can be written as dabba square psi upon dabba x square minus this minus will become plus omega square upon v square psi of x is equal to 0. We obtained this. Now see, what is omega? We have seen in the last lecture, omega is 2 pi nu, and similarly what is v? V is equals to nu lambda. V is velocity, so v is equals to nu lambda. We can put this in above equation. Then we will get dabba square psi upon dabba x square is equal to, what is omega? 2 pi nu, square of 2 pi nu, 4 pi square nu square, okay, upon what is square of v? Nu square lambda square psi of x equals to 0. Now, oh no, this is plus. Yeah, dabba square psi upon dabba x square plus nu square will be cancelled. 4 pi square upon lambda square psi of x equals to 0. Now how can we write lambda? According to de Broglie, lambda is equals to h upon p. That means h upon mv or h upon p. Let's write only h upon p. And what is p? P is equals to mv. So let's first substitute this. Lambda square will be h square upon p square, while kinetic energy is equals to p square upon twice m. Now total energy can be written as, or simply energy can be written as kinetic plus potential. So E can be written as P square upon twice m plus E is total energy, P square upon twice m plus what is potential energy? It is denoted by V of x. V of x is potential energy, P is the momentum. Now so P can be replaced as, see, let's write here 2me is equals to, no, P square upon twice m is equals to E minus V of x, right? So P square is equal to 2m in bracket E minus V of x. So P can be written as 2m E minus V of x bracket square. So lambda can be written as h upon p. So lambda can be written as, from this we can write lambda as h upon 2m E minus V of x. Write down this first of all. First we know lambda is equal to h upon p, then kinetic energy is equal to P square upon twice m, then total energy can be written as kinetic energy plus potential energy. It is denoted by P square upon twice m plus potential energy V of x. Now we can calculate from this equation the value of P. We got the value of P and we will substitute in this equation for, we have this wavelength and we are going to substitute this wavelength by this formula. So h upon P and h upon 2m E minus V of x. Now we are just going to substitute this value. So we will get delta square psi upon delta x square plus 4 pi square upon, what is lambda square now? It is h square upon 2m, this was raised to half, square root of 2m E minus V of x, and as it is lambda square h square upon p square, and the square it will get square, and this square and square root will get cancelled. So we will get this into psi of x is equals to 0. Now let's write here. Delta square psi upon delta x square plus 4 pi square upon h square into, this will become numerator, so it will become 2m in bracket E minus V of x into psi of x is equals to 0. We can write h square upon 4 pi square as 1 upon h square upon 4 pi square. It can also be written as 1 upon h upon 2 pi bracket square, and hence what is h upon 2 pi? It is h cross, so 1 upon h cross square. Okay, so this equation will become delta square psi upon delta x square plus 2m E minus V of x, or we can write 1 upon h cross square into 2m E minus V of x psi of x is equal to 0. This is known as Schrodinger equation. Schrodinger equation for particle behaving as wave. It can also be modified as, see, we will write dabba square psi upon dabba x square is equal to, take it in that side, so minus 1 upon h cross square 2 in bracket 2me, or let's keep as it is 2m in bracket e psi of x minus v of x psi of x is equals to 0. We have just multiplied psi inside the bracket. Now what we will get? Dabba square psi, or we can write it as, it can be written as twice m upon h cross square and in bracket this. Now it can be written as minus h cross square upon twice m. Dabba square psi upon dabba x square is equal to, or now take this in this side, plus v of x psi of x is equal to e psi of x. This is another form of Schrodinger wave equation. Write it carefully. This equation mostly used, and this is sometimes used, sometimes. We can easily rearrange from this equation to this. So just remember this equation. We can write here as twice m upon h cross square. This is very simple. Now see, we have seen how to trace or how the Schrodinger equation came into existence. Okay, what was the theory behind that? But these type of all calculations never asked actually. So just try to remember this equation. It should be tip of your tongue. Okay. Now that's all for today. In the next lecture, we will see some postulates and some basic terminologies like operator and all. So thanks for watching. If you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section. Okay.